What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, I'm once again going to be looking at another Affix-It stat. Now, I do admit here, I do know a lot of these are probably going to be, I guess, situational. Like, is there really going to be a reason to use, like, a certain build over another one? Or, like, should I actually use this build because that one's obviously better? And I do admit that is probably going to be a pretty fair argument because many builds are probably going to be better options and most likely in better situations. Now for this though, I am going to look at a perk I have basically never used even in the Crew 2 before. That is going to be the Resourceful, which is going to be nitrous refills by around, 0.8% to 2% while braking. So the thing here is this is supposed to help you while you do brake. Remember guys, you actually have to use your brakes to get nitrous. Kind of a weird concept, but hey, if you actually are braking, which, most events have like corners or like, insanely annoying AI basically cutting you off, or you have like a really annoying like AI pedestrian pretty much pulling in front of you, or doing the weirdest U-turn ever. But hey, at least in a way you are going to be getting nitrous while braking and trying to dodge every possible obstacle while driving. Now keep in mind in this though, you can also add points to your driver perk. Now this is going to be 40. And I did notice having this maxed out at 40 is a 10% boost. Now, what's kind of odd about this, though, is yes, you obviously get a 10% boost, but all you actually have to do is add the legend points to this. If you are looking at the car, guys, for some odd reason, they only did a 14% boost on every single part. So if you actually manage to have a maxed out 2% on every single one, you are going to be at around a 14% there. Adding a 10% on top of like the legend being around 24. Is that actually going to be useful? Well, I do want to do a few tests here. So the first one is going to be a main test not having anything active, then throwing just the legend points on it, and then finally having everything together. Now, spawning outside right now here in the Berlinetta, guys, one thing I do want to point out, though, is in order to really get the best results on this, you obviously have to be going a bit faster. So I'm most likely going to be around 4th and 5th gear to test this. Now, the first one here is going to be with absolutely nothing. So you would think right off the bat that, yes, not having Resourceful does obviously matter. You are not going to have any boost whatsoever to that nitrous, at least when you are braking, though. Isn't that the point of it? So right now, hitting this guy's with nothing active whatsoever. Hitting the brakes kind of hard there. So it really doesn't go up that quick, and you can also tell that not having it there does actually make a difference. But once again, though, let's try this right now with the Driver Perk, which is around a 10% boost. So moving over to run number 2 here, having the 40 points on the Legend Perk. Now, one thing I do admit right now, guys, being in like a higher gear and most likely hitting your brakes that way definitely seems like the actual like correct way to actually test this out. Now, doing this right now, guys, having my nitrous at absolutely nothing. Keep in mind this is once again going to be a 10% boost here, so hitting my brakes now. I do admit that is actually going to be a pretty big difference not having anything whatsoever. Like, we do know not having certain builds or, like, even running extra pump with everything on, you are still going to be like, yeah, that really doesn't make a difference. But only being a 10% there, guys, that actually is a significant boost compared to nothing. Now, one thing I do have to admit, though, I was not expecting that much of a boost having Resourceful on just 10%. Like, we do know some of the perks are probably going to be like, yeah, maybe that's not working as intended, or even maybe it could actually be a bit better than how it was. Now, this is going to be with a 24% boost on having it on every part, including the actual driver perk. So right now, guys, let's hit it. So braking now in 5th gear. Wow, look at that. So that is going to be a big significant change there. Wow, that's really impressive. I went from pretty much no nitrous whatsoever to almost having half my nitrous or even over it. Let's do it again. Let me get around this and not run into a Camaro. Oh, look, another one. So hitting my brakes again. Wow, that's impressive. So I was doing around, let me see how fast I can get this to. So right there, guys, once again, I got above half nitrous having this active. So right off the bat, I'm going to say, yes, Resourceful is working as intended. What's kind of funny, though, is that is going to be a 24% boost. And like, yeah, that is going to be a big difference. But if we look at something like Extra Pump, you're probably like, yeah, that's not working right. Or even maybe it could be a bit better than what it is showing. Wow, that was a bad turn. So I'm going to do this one more time over here to show this, though, in 5th gear again. So around 174 miles an hour, hitting my brakes as hard as possible in the tunnel. Hitting it right now. Man, that is insane. So it goes above half the nitrous bar hitting Resourceful there. So I'm not even going to lie here, guys. I am actually really surprised how good Resourceful actually works. Some of the perks in the game, you honestly are probably scratching your head on like even extra pump, but no, Resourceful is definitely going to be working pretty dang amazing. Even doing 170 miles an hour, you get over half your nitrous back. There is one thing I do want to point out, like, yes, the quicker you are going, the more nitrous you are obviously going to have because, you know, you are going faster. That is going to increase, like, the braking distance of that. But, for example, on this, if I go back to third gear doing around 110, I'm going to go down to no nitrous, though. Slamming my brakes right now, you guys are going to notice that you are going to go up pretty good, but not as much as if you were going a bit quicker. So, like, if you guys are going a bit slower in some areas, you're not going to get as much, but even doing 110 miles an hour, I still almost got to half nitrous. It really is going to be pretty dang resourceful. Yeah, that joke was probably pretty bad there, not gonna lie. But overall, guys, I would definitely recommend trying out this perk. It does actually seem really useful. Like, not even gonna lie here, guys, I would actually go after a second Nitrochemist build just for Resourceful and Pure. Like, it really is going to make that much of a difference when braking. Like, look how fast it actually goes up. Man, that is insane. Overall, though, guys, I would recommend trying this out if you haven't. It is probably going to be one of those perks that is most likely going to be fairly rare, and I would say a lot of players most likely don't even run it.